Hi, I'm Joy.
Hi, I'm Lorraine.
And this is Girlish Gurus. And Lorraine, why are we here?
We're here to talk about mid-lifestyle topics for women who are 45 and older to help you live your best, healthiest, and most fulfilled life. We're also going to have lots of fun along the way.
So let's get started. Welcome back to another Girlish Gurus episode. I'm Joy.
And I'm Lorraine.
Lorraine, what are we talking about today?
Ikigai and Ichigo Ichie.
That's a mouthful. I've actually been very excited to talk about this topic. Mm-hmm. Can you give us a little background about what these things are?
Yeah, so my son knows how interested I am in all things kind of like spiritual, wellness related. And for my birthday a few years ago, he gave me these two books. The first one is called Ikigai. The other is Ichigo Ichie by Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles.
Okay.
So we each have our copy of the books. Joy and I read each of them. And so basically, Ikigai is a Japanese concept that means a reason for being or a reason to live. So that's more like our purpose, right? Our purpose, our passion. And it's one's personal beliefs, passions, values, and vocation. And then Ichigo Ichie is a Japanese philosophy about this moment. Each opportunity presents itself only once. If you don't embrace it, it's lost forever. Ikigai is all about finding your purpose in life and creating flow with that purpose. And we'll go over some of the steps and some of the components of it further in our discussion. And then the Ichigo Ichie is basically enjoying the little moments that happen in our lives, because that particular moment, even if it's similar to other moments, will never be the same as another moment. So treasure each moment as it happens, because that will never happen again.
Right.
So we'll go a little bit more in depth about that.
Right. And these two books also kind of coincide with the discussion we had about the blue zones. Mm-hmm. We did that podcast episode
in the fall
of last year. Mm-hmm. So go check that out, because there are some overlaps with Ikigai and Ichigo Ichie, yes.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they refer to the blue zones
quite
in the books, and Dan Butner in the books. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you want to get started just with what some of the components are of Ikigai?
Yes. I can't wait to discuss this, because I really think that we as a society have lost touch with this whole concept. And I really think this is a great conversation to have, and hopefully a lot of folks out there will get a lot out of it. And right now, in the season that I'm in with elderly parents trying to help get them situated, this is much needed. So
yeah. And I just wanted to add, especially post-pandemic, when people really were struggling and weren't able maybe to express their passions and purpose, that maybe this is like a time of renewal. And we're just a little bit into 2024 with so much more ahead of us. And maybe if you haven't already found your passion or purpose, maybe this will be a little bit of inspiration for you.
Right. So what are some of the components?
Yeah, so there's four key components of Ikigai.
And this is Ikigai, okay.
Ikigai. So Ikigai is your purpose.
Right.
So number one is mission. So while defining your Ikigai requires focus on what makes you tick individually as a human being, you also need to look outward to what the world needs too. A person's Ikigai connects to something greater. Ask yourself how you can contribute to making the world a better place. It's at least 1/4 of what makes life worth living, according to the general concept of Ikigai.
I love that.
And I think that's great, right? Giving back, being charitable, maybe your purpose and passion in life may not only provide financial stability for you, but may actually help others in the world as well.
Which I don't think you can do better than finding a way to make the world a better place, help others, and also satisfy your greatest purpose and potential.
Yeah. And I look at it as girlish gurus, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Each of us, we know we want to provide support, resources, inspiration for women everywhere, especially women maybe over the age of 50, but it can be for any woman. And we've kind of made it our purpose and our passion to do that, enjoying it while we're doing it, and providing hopefully some inspiration for women out there.
Yes, and it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
And it's funny how our paths have meandered through different things. Actually, I just posted a video, which I haven't told you about this yet. I'm posting videos on our YouTube channel, and I just posted a video with a quick little look back about how you and I met and how our friendship has evolved and turned into this.
Yeah.
And so I wish for everyone that they could find their Ikigai earlier in life.
Yeah.
Than I did, I think. But at the same time, I feel like every step I've been taking has been leading me to this point.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And it includes not only a wonderful friendship and a very fulfilling purpose for me, but also I truly believe that we are putting information out in the world that can really help people live their best lives.
Yeah.
And be happier and fulfilled and have great well-being.
Yeah. And like you said, we traveled this journey a little bit differently when I became a health coach, and we both belonged to the same women's networking group and kind of connected because we were both writers.
Right.
And we took that first trip to Pittsburgh to a writers' conference, and we really didn't even know each other. Ended up sleeping together in the same bed.
Not on that trip. We had separate beds.
Okay, we had separate beds on that trip.
We slept in the same bed in New York when we went to the Blog Her conference. Do you remember that?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. But I know I was so impressed with Joy's PJs.
Which I included a picture of those PJs in the video.
I said, I need to up my PJ game if I'm going to be traveling with this woman.
Yes. I do have some fantastic pajamas. That is true.
Yeah. But I remember we just spent so much quality time together. We really got to know each other, and we just became fast friends.
Fast friends, yes.
Yeah.
And so all those things together, satisfying our purpose, developing a great friendship, and also doing something that we truly enjoy.
Yeah.
That's, in my opinion, the key component of Ikigai.
Yeah.
Even though there's 3 others, that one right there is its foundation.
Yeah. Plus, we stepped outside of our comfort zone together.
Big time.
Pitching to literary agents, right? We really stepped outside of our comfort zone. We really supported each other during that trip. I remember celebrating after we did it, like gave ourselves a pat on the back. Oh my gosh, we got through that. We did it.
Right. And you need to watch that video because I put pictures of all that in there.
Oh, good.
And I really feel like not only did we step out of our comfort zone in that regard, but this whole adventure has been a step outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
So.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to number 2.
Okay.
So number 2 is passion. Self-development is as rewarding as it is challenging. To find the true meaning of life for you personally, feeling ikigai, or a sense of joy in fulfilling your purpose, is as essential as any broader duty to the common good. Define what you love to do the most and keep doing it for the rest of your life.
Oh. That's my plan.
Yeah. And I know even outside of whatever your profession is, I mean, just finding those things that you love to do. Like, I love to travel. I love to create, write. And I know you probably the same.
I do love travel, but I love the technical aspect of it.
Yeah.
I love putting things together and creating a story using technical tools. I love writing. I love teaching people valuable things, all of those things, as you can see by looking at my vision board right there.
Right.
I love all of those things.
Yeah.
And this platform allows me to do that. And I am so very thankful for that. Yeah. I am very, very, it's been a lifesaver, truly. Yeah.
And I love, actually, another one of my passions is bringing women together and just finding community with women, because there's magic when that happens, right? When that happens.
Absolutely.
When women gather, magic happens.
And watch this space, because we're going to talk more about the trips that you have planned that are coming up here in 2024.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Oh, yes. Stay tuned. Get ready, because we're going to be talking about some women's retreats again coming up.
Yeah. So just think about what your passion might be. What do you really find joy in? What do you find that you love to do? And make that part of your Ikigai.
Yes, absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
It gives me goosebumps.
And speaking of, number 3 is profession. Ikigai means making a real-life difference day in and day out, both personally and professionally. Finding a sense of fulfillment at your job is a core element to building a holistic Ikigai. Look for a career that serves the world, sparks your own interest, and brings you joy.
Oh, yes, right? Yes.
Yes.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
because if you do that, you'll never work a day in your life.
Right. And if you find yourself in a career or in a profession right now that is draining you and depleting you of your joy. You know, sometimes we can't step right out of it, right? Financially, we need that income and so forth. But maybe you can do things outside of your profession, maybe as a hobby, and kind of turn that into a career in the future, just as a side hustle, I guess, you know, because a lot of people find that, and then they eventually turn that into their full-time profession and career.
Yep. There's ways to do it. If you're not satisfied in the job that you have right now, save a little bit of time, energy, and of yourself every day and put it towards something that makes you feel happy and joyful. And of course, you can never have too much joy. We know that, Lauren.
You can never have too much joy.
You can never have too much joy. And eventually, you will find your way to where you are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I really believe that.
Right. In previous episodes, maybe even in the Blue Zones episodes, we talked about those things that bring you joy, like possibly a hobby that you have, like such as music, painting, writing, those
Sewing,
kinds of things.
yeah.
Right. So they may not bring you financial fulfillment right now, but they may bring you spiritual fulfillment, and doing that, you know, as you go and pursue your passion.
But you can't create out of a place of lack. You have to come at it from the perspective of, I love it so much. I'm doing this because I love it.
Abundance.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
And it will work out for you.
Yeah. And so that leads us to number 4, which is talent. So if you can pinpoint what you're naturally good at, you have yet another core element of your personal ikigai in your grasp. Especially for younger generations, ask what talents you already possess and which you hope to develop. Spending each day doing something you love that comes easily to you and helps the wider world might lead you to live a happy and long life.
Ooh. So I thought a lot about this one when I was reading the book. And I got to tell you, I think my number one talent is being myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I guess sometimes we each need to look inward, kind of step outside of our comfort zone, and maybe some of those things that we love to do that maybe make us uncomfortable.
Right.
Just taking those small steps to accomplish them and find that passion that really drives us, that really brings us joy.
Right. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "You must do the thing you think you cannot do." So I think there's a couple of different ways of approaching this. And the book goes into this in fairly good detail. There's a couple of different ways that you can work to find your talent. One of them is, okay, do the thing you think you cannot do. And if you fail, you haven't really failed unless you haven't learned from your situation. So keep trying, right? And also look back into your life. What did you enjoy as a child? Very likely you're going to still enjoy those same things. And that can be an indicator of what your true talent is.
Yeah.
And maybe you like to sing, but you don't have the greatest voice. That doesn't mean that can't point you in the direction of what your ikigai is, what your purpose is, and what your talent is, and how those things can fulfill you. So you just have to keep trying and come at it from a couple of different ways. But I go back to the last component that we talked about, and I think a lot about Joseph Campbell and following your bliss. That's the key. Look for what satisfies you and makes you happy and fulfills you, and see if you can find your talent somewhere in that periphery.
Yeah. And just when you said that, especially when you think about your childhood, one of the chapters in the Ikigai book is about going with the flow. Do you remember when you were a kid and you were outside having the best time of your life and you didn't even think about eating, drinking, and then you were just like so in the flow that you didn't even think about those things, right? So part of the Ikigai is that you have such a passion for something, you're in something that you're eventually in the flow.
Right.
So in the book it says, imagine you're skiing down one of your favorite slopes. Powdery snow flies up on both sides of you like white sand. Conditions are perfect. You are entirely focused on skiing as well as you can. You know exactly how to move at each moment. There is no future, no past. There is only the present. You feel the snow, your skis, your body, and your consciousness united as a single entity. You are completely immersed in the experience, not thinking about or distracted by anything else. Your ego dissolves and you become part of what you are doing.
That's amazing. It gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. So when you really find that passion, that purpose, and all of your focus is on that, you are living in the moment.
Right.
Like they said, you're not in the past. You're not in the future. You're living completely in that moment.
And that is flow. I love that.
That's flow.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, another thing they discuss in the book is the Venn diagram, which helps you find your Ikigai. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay. So here are some of the ways to find your own Ikigai. So with the Venn diagram, it says create 4 overlapping circles, which are your mission, passion, profession, and talent, and start to fill them in with words. This sort of Ikigai diagram or template enables you to start defining your sense of purpose in a very hands-on way. As you fill in each circle, try to keep an eye out for the commonalities between them, and especially the similarities that fit right in the center of the diagram. This is the sweet spot that will help you clearly define your Ikigai.
Yes. And that's a very scientific way to approach it. So there's a couple of different ways you can approach looking for your Ikigai, your purpose.
Yeah.
And I'd like the Venn diagram. For me, I'm not that kind of a thinker. The Venn diagrams, I've done these kinds of exercises before. They don't really work well for me. What works better for me is reaching back and thinking about what did I enjoy as a child and trying to use that information to figure out my purpose.
Yes. So one of them is ask what brings you joy. Throughout the course of your everyday life, notice what increases your sense of well-being.
Right. So that's another way to do it. So you're going through your day and you're seeing what makes you happy. Yes.
Define the small things you can do on a daily basis that you love doing, feeling innately good at, and can channel into a career, as well as what will better the state of the world.
Right. Okay. Something I've been thinking about with regard to Ikigai is how this works with women who are 45 and older. Now, some people might think, I wish I had my Ikigai earlier in life, right? Well, there's good and bad aspects of that. It can drop you down into a downward spiral a little bit. So rather than look at it like, I wish I had my Ikigai earlier in life, I think we should look at it like, I'm older and I have more wisdom and more experience, and I know myself better. And so you can take those experiences and you can take that wisdom and knowledge and you can use that to help you define your Ikigai now.
Yeah.
Because, and this goes into the second book, Ichigo Ichie. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, I think so.
Where they talk about this one moment is now and will never be again. And so you can take those experiences and your wisdom and the person you are now and use that information to find your current Ikigai.
Yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, what I do now, being a health coach, I mean, I didn't even think about that when I was younger. And actually, events that happened in my life, health events within my own family, kind of led me in that direction. I've always been like health conscious, but I didn't realize that I could do something with that other than take care of, our family. But that's how it began, because my 2 daughters have celiac disease. My husband had a cancer diagnosis, and I realized we needed to change things up. And then it became, I really enjoy looking into this and researching. This is my passion. Thankfully, everybody's good. And I was able to then go on, become a health coach, and realize that women in my demographic, in my age group, going through menopause, were looking for help.
Right.
And so so that became
your purpose.
My purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in a million years, I never would have expected to be doing what I'm doing now. And I love it so much. Who knows? I'm just going to go be a lawyer and conquer the world and whatever. And it has served its purpose to bring me to this point where I can help people and teach people and use my skill to put this information out in the world. And then you and I met, and it was like, oh, right? Right?
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
How it has worked out.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful for it, and it has played out in a way that makes me believe the universe is helping your life unfold the way it should.
The final way that they suggest to discover your Ikigai is try new things.
And there it is.
Right. Everyone can define and experience their personal Ikigai in a unique way. For instance, an introvert might seek out a podcast about new ideas or experiences. Here we are.
Yeah.
Whereas an extrovert might try things more directly. As you learn more about yourself and explore opportunities, you'll experience moments in which you feel you've achieved a state of flow.
I love it. Yes.
Yep. Instances in which everything seems just right. It takes examples of Ikigai in action like this to better define what the concept means for you in a more general sense. So basically, get out there, try new things, step outside of your comfort zone. You may just discover your newest passion.
I love
Our passions and purpose can change throughout our life, just as we said. Yeah.
And just as you will change throughout your life.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we should now go into
Yes, that's a great
Ichigo
segue.
Ichie.
Right. That's a great segue into the next book. As I understand it, there is no direct English translation for these Japanese characters. However, basically what Ichigo Ichie means is one time or period of time and one meeting or opportunity. So you can look at it like this moment is only happening once. It will never be repeated. And even if you think it's going to be repeated or you think, oh, this is deja vu or the same thing, actually, no. Nothing will ever be the same. No one moment is ever repeated. And that's true for meeting a stranger. That's true for any situation you're in. There's no repetition of any one moment. And another way they put it in the book, which I really love, is even if you step into the same river, it's not actually the same river because it continues to flow.
Right.
It's a different river, and you are a different person.
Right. And even if you walk the same path every day, you'll find something different on that path and you'll discover something different. Right. This morning, this is just a cute little story. As I was preparing for this podcast, I had my granddaughter with me and she was sitting on my lap. She always asks to sit on my lap. And so I had the book in front of me and it was the Ichigo Ichie. And she said, what does that mean? So I was trying to explain it to her. I said that each moment in life is never the same as another. Right? So we have to treasure each moment. She said, but I sit on your lap all the time and it's the same. I sit on your lap and it's going to be the same. I said, no, because each time you sit on my lap, look, we're having a different conversation right now. Each time you sit on my lap, it will be different. So she's like, oh, okay. She understood.
I love that.
Each moment will be different. So there are 10 rules of the Japanese way to happiness. So this is an article from Mind, Body, Green, which actually was contributed to by those two authors that we discussed.
Who wrote the books.
Yeah.
Right.
Hector Garcia.
And Francesca Miralles.
Right. So these are the 10 rules. So the first one is don't postpone special moments. Each opportunity presents itself only once. If you don't embrace it, it's lost forever. Life is a question of now or never. I have a quote that I always say, and it's take the time, for there will come a time when there is no more time.
Right.
So really, I think paying attention to each moment. And like we always discuss it, I always have FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. I want to embrace every moment of my life. I know that we have this one life, and these moments are like the Ichigo Ichie. So this moment will only happen once. So I say yes to as many things as I can. Of course, things that are not going to bring me stress in any way.
Right.
So I want to enjoy and be able to say without regret that I did what I wanted to do in my life.
Well, another thing to think about with that is, especially right now, while we're managing situations with our older parents, it becomes immediately clear that every moment is precious. So, yeah, do yourself a favor and try to keep that in the forefront of your mind, even in difficult moments.
Yeah.
There can be a treasure.
Yeah, there can be beauty even in those difficult moments.
Right. All right, so number 2.
Number 2 is live as if this were going to happen only once in your life. That's why it's inspiring to greet and say goodbye to our loved ones with Ichigo Ichie, to make us aware of the unique and once-in-a-lifetime nature of each meeting.
I love that.
Yeah. Like we always say, right, I love you when we leave and to our loved ones, and give kisses and hugs, and treat it like this will be the last time maybe, or the only time that will happen. So, and treasure each of those moments.
Right.
Yeah. Number 3 is dwell in the present. Journeys into the past and the future are often painful and nearly always useless.
Oh, true.
You can't change what happened.
Nope.
You can't know what will happen. But here in this moment, all the possibilities in the world are alive.
I love it.
I just got chills.
Yeah.
I just really did get chills.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, what is that saying? Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. The only moment you have is the present, and that's a gift, right?
Oh, I love that. I don't know if I've ever heard that before.
I don't know if I'm saying it right. I've heard it before. I can't take credit for that. I mean, I will. But I didn't say it. But yes, that's the same principle. It's never a good thing to live in the past, and it's never a good thing to worry about the future. I don't think it's a bad thing to have hopes and dreams and goals.
Yeah.
But you do better for yourself by being present and existing in the present moment as best you can. I got to tell you, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah.
Read it if you haven't. It's a great book.
Well, what do they say? That the past creates depression and the future creates anxiety.
Ooh, true. It's a good idea to try to stay present. That's just a good practice.
And one of the ways to do that is put down the phone.
Oh, yes. Not until you're done with this podcast episode.
You're right. Well, you can listen to this podcast episode while you're doing something.
True.
Okay, number 4, do something you've never done before. As Einstein said, you can't do the same thing over and over and expect different results. Another way of achieving an unforgettable moment is by giving yourself over and allowing something new to blossom inside you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And so I know in this coming year, and especially as Joy and I plan future podcasts, this is what we do. We want to experience new moments, look for those things that we haven't done before and bring them all to you and inspire you to do those same things too.
And show you that you can do it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. No matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Number 5, practice seated meditation. You can sit on a meditation cushion or just sit down and observe the miracle of life. The simple fact of stepping away from the daily whirlwind of hurry and obligations will open the doors to well-being.
I love meditation. And I'm constantly centering myself and trying to tune in to my inner self and take deep breaths. And it's a lifesaver.
Yeah. I hear from women all the time, I can't meditate because I can't make my mind stop. And if that's you, it's okay. Let whatever thoughts come into your head come into them. Eventually, you will learn how to be more in the present moment and not let all those, the past, the future come into your mind. But also, if it would help you, there are free apps that you can use with guided meditations, and that's a great way to start. Right. And I think Calm is one, but you can just do a
Headspace, I think there's another one.
Yeah. So just do a Google search for the best meditation apps, guided meditation apps, and you can start that way. And it's so beneficial because it really does keep you in the present.
And on top of that, I heard someone say, your mind during meditation is like a bowl of silty water. And the longer it sits there, the more the silt will settle in the water.
That's great.
So kind of think of it like that. And not that you have to achieve that every time. You have to work toward it a little bit at a time. But that's one way to look at it. You let those thoughts and your racing mind continue to settle. And as you practice it, you'll get better at it over time. And you'll be able to get there more quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 6.
Apply mindfulness to your 5 senses. Train yourself in the art of listening, watching, touching, tasting, and smelling to give each moment the richness of human perception. This will also allow you to be more alert to others and increase your level of empathy and influence.
Nice. It'll also ground you. That's sort of the same thing as if you're having an anxiety attack. I've heard there's the 5 things that you use.
What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you taste? Yeah. And it really changes your mind and puts your focus somewhere.
On the present moment, it grounds you. Yeah.
Okay.
7.
Notice coincidences. And I know we're a big one about this, like the butterfly.
Right.
Yeah. And there's a book that Joy and I both read, and we actually did the experiments from, right? It's called E Squared.
By Pam Grout. Yep.
Yeah. So being aware of coincidences helps us get better at reading signs sent by the universe. A journal in which we keep notes of these moments of daily magic will increase our ability to follow the invisible threads of reality.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and we did that with the cars, like looking for the different color car. Like
a pink car.
Yeah.
And pine trees for you. And I can't remember. You had a bunch of things.
Then we had the butterflies. And remember I sent you the little video after I saw the butterflies all flying around. And so it's a great little book. It's a quick little thing where you do like these little experiments to see what you can manifest, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the same thing. Connecting through that thread and
the universe.
What's around you. Yes.
Okay, number 8, make every gathering a party. I love this one.
That is you, Lorraine. You do make every gathering a party.
I love this one.
You are
really
a little
do.
party just walking around.
There's nothing better than celebrating and being together and having fun and joyful laughing and just, it's the best. Don't wait for the right circumstances,
That's right.
a vacation, a trip, a birthday, to experience extraordinary things. With the right frame of mind, every day can be a celebration.
And it's on your shirt, your optimist shirt. That's you. That is you right there. A clover leaf walking around, wrapped around an optimist. That's it.
I love it. I love it. I remember a while ago someone said to me, oh, I don't know why people spend all this money on weddings. They should just take that money and buy a house, or take that money and like basically put it towards a materialistic thing, right? And I said, can you imagine if that's all we did and we never celebrated marriages, if we never celebrated anything in our life? I said, what a boring, miserable life that would be. Just think of the joy. When you go to a wedding, just think of the joy at that wedding, the people dancing, the laughter, the speeches, all of that. I said, could you imagine if we just didn't have that? Yes, it's expensive, and can we please change that? But we can do it very simply too. You can do a backyard wedding or a backyard party or whatever. It doesn't have to be all about the money. But I felt like when they said that, I'm like, I would miss all those celebrations. I would just miss that. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Number 9, if you don't like what there is, make something different. Human beings are transformative by nature and have the power to reinvent themselves as many times as it takes. If your reality is too dull and predictable to live with Ichigo Ichie, you have the opportunity to create another.
Amen to that, sister.
Yep. We could apply that to every aspect of our life. If you are not happy in a situation, whether it's your marriage your job,
right?
Pour me a Coke.
Ding, ding, ding.
Right? Anything. A relationship outside of your marriage, anything. Recreate it.
Girl, you can change it.
You can change it.
That's right. Yeah. You can. You have the power.
Yeah. And then finally, number 10. Be a hunter of special moments. As with any activity, the more you practice, the better and more abundant the results will be.
I love it.
Yep. And that's what Joy and I do. We search for those moments.
We do.
Yep.
And we come to the table with that intention every time.
Yeah. And we want to bring it to you, really. And really, I mean, we've said this word so many times in this podcast, but inspiration. We want to bring the inspiration to you. And if you have the doldrums, if you just don't know where you want to go with your life, I hope some of the things we talked about will help you on that journey. And because this can be a magnificent, magical life. And like the last 2 things we talked about, making change, you have the ability to make that change in your life.
Yeah, that's wonderful. As always, I love our discussions. I always feel so happy whenever we spend time together, not just when we're podcasting, but whenever we're doing whatever wackadoo thing it is we're doing. Because sometimes it's wackadoo things.
I know.
You know?
I know.
And it's still fun. I have such a good time. I enjoy our friendship, and I enjoy the work that we do together.
I do too.
It really fills
So
me
much.
up. Yeah.
Me too.
And I hope you all are enjoying the work that we do here on the podcast.
I love the joy that I have in my life.
You can never have too much joy. I have so much fun saying that.
Yeah. I hope the women out there take the steps to find their passion and purpose and pay attention to those little moments every day, treasure them, and do realize one of the things I just realized this. One of the things we didn't talk about was the tea ceremonies that they talk about in the book for Ichigo Ichie. Those tea ceremonies in Japan is that special moment where they are sitting with another person and enjoying that moment, that day together. And it is like a little celebration. So maybe grab a girlfriend, get a cup of coffee, get a cup of tea, whatever your preferred beverage is, and enjoy that time together. And then maybe even make plans for other things to do together.
Yep. Celebrate the small moments because life is a collection of small moments.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it's important that we find joy in the small moments because that leads to bigger and better opportunities for you to have the life of your dreams.
Yeah.
And that's what we're shooting for.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments below what your plans are for your future, for your passion, for your purpose. Let us know if you already have found that path or other ways that we can support you and inspire you along the way.
And other small moments or other small treasures that you found just in your everyday world. I would love to hear about that. And if you have anything else you would like for us to discuss on this podcast, please let us know, because we would be happy to look into it and possibly use your topic as a topic for a future episode. This has been wonderful. I have enjoyed it. Yeah. And I hope everyone else has enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, here's till next time.
Bye. We'll see ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Girlish Gurus. We hope you'll join us next time for more fun and inspiration. Be sure to check the description of this episode for links and information about the topic, and you can find us on our social media platforms, starting with Instagram, Facebook, and now including YouTube. You can find us by searching Girlish Gurus, and you can also check out our website, girlishgurus.com, for more information on us, our projects, books, and our growing community.
And don't forget to download this episode, give it a good review, and share it with your girlfriends. We would also love to hear from you in the comments, because the more interaction we get, the more episodes we can post. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.